everybody. Welcome to the SelfActualize podcast, the show where we bring you raw insights from the world's best coaches, founders, peak performers, and authors. I'm your host, Anmol Das, and today we're sitting down with a true legend. So we have none other than Jeffrey Gitomer. So if you've ever sold anything in your life, you've probably come across the Little Red Book of Selling, or the Sales Bible, or the Little Gold Book of Yes. Attitude. So Jeffrey's books have sold millions and millions of copies. His podcast, Sell or Die, has over 3 million downloads. And he's worked with the top companies and sales leaders across the world. But what really sets Gitomer apart isn't just his content, it's his energy, conviction, and the legacy he's built around helping others win. So we're excited to have him. In this episode, we'll unpack why the most salespeople are failing and failing big at the fundamentals, how to lead with value in today's world where we're driven by noise and distractions, how Jeffrey thinks about AI, trust, rejection, and most importantly, becoming unforgettable. Okay, so I'm super excited about this. Let's get into it. Jeffrey, how you doing, sir? Welcome to the podcast.
Emil, thank you very much for setting such low expectations. I totally appreciate that. But yes, you're correct. I'm a dedicated sales student, and that has helped me become a leader in sales, if not the leader in sales globally.
That's what I love about you as we've gotten to know each other these last couple of months. You're kind of like us at SelfActualize. You're a student of the game, a lifetime student. And would you say that's what's attributable to your success?
Totally. I sat in 1994. I sat around a table for the National Speakers Association. I had no idea who the guy was. It was my first meeting at NSA completely. And this guy named Bert Dubin said, there's three kinds of experts. There's an expert, there's a world-class expert, and there's the world-class expert. I never heard another word the guy said. I had my mission. So now when you Google King of Sales, for some reason, I pop up.
Yeah.
And 17 books later, including the Little Red Book of Selling, which has become the largest selling sales book of all time, I'm wanting to know what's next. And I mean, you're involved in it, but you know that AI is not the next thing, it's the thing. And it's going to eliminate a lot of things that people thought were accurate. I don't think cold calling will last another 2 months.
Really?
Well, why would you cold call? Tell me the biggest sale you've ever made from cold calling, and I'll tell you $1 million sales that I made by targeting a customer, not cold calling. So it's a targeted cold call. And you can learn everything you need to know about these people using the system that I use called Bank, or just going to Mother Google.
But you're saying cold calling still works, but it's the way you cold call. It's doing the research and being targeted and informed by AI.
It's not making 100 cold calls in an hour. That's bullshit. That's an idiot. That's getting 97 rejections, maybe 98 rejections. And it is arguably the single worst way to make a friend or to make a customer. But if you create 5 targets of people that you think will be of value to you, and you have 5 ideas for those 5 targets, and you've Googled them, and you have figured out where they are in the bank program, now you know about these. Now you know about these prospects. Now you go into my AI, and it's going to tell you what the first question to ask, the second question to ask, how to close a sale, what to say in the middle. Only an idiot would read a script. Now, I'd like to speak to the person in charge of advertising. Seriously?
Yeah.
That's 100 years old, or some worse person told you to find the pain. Or some other person told you to challenge the leader. That is dead. It's not dying, it's dead. The only people that don't know it are the people that run the company.
So still do cold calling, it still works, but be more targeted about it.
Only targeted.
Only targeted. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, how do
why
you
would I call someone I don't know?
so I mean these people, even if you're more informed, right, how do you help people get over the fear factor of cold calling? Because cold calling strikes a fear in people that's greater than it's right up there with public
Yeah.
presentation, right? It's how do you
I'm going
get
to
them
share
to
with you how to make this work. If I'm being trained as a salesperson, do I want to sit in a classroom or do I want an AI program that I can call up and have a sales coach and go to a customer's place and spend a week at the customer's place figuring out why they bought? Or go to 5 customers' places and spend a day each at one of those places and figure out why they bought and how they use? Well, which do you think is more powerful? Listening to some guy pontificate with dingleberries on his loafers and that's not that those days are done. They're over. But we have a lot of material to get through. Seriously, I don't want to go through material. I just want answers. And if I'm allowed to speak freely, all I want to do is make a fucking sale. And if you can't help me with that, I got to go. So AI is going to give people immediate answers. And that's what a salesperson wants. New or beginner or advanced.
Yeah.
They still
So,
want answers.
but it's what most people just don't operate that way, right? Most
Right. That's why I
salespeople,
crushed them.
like you always say, you got to help customers win. But most salespeople, they're coming in with a script, they're coming in with a pitch that they got from enablement, that they got from headquarters, and they don't lead with this value. And they're not, even though the AI tools are out there, they're not picking them up and they're not using them. So how do you,
Let me ask you a pretty interesting question. Would you rather have a sales AI coach that you could dial up anytime to be able to get an answer, or some sales enablement officer that's going to tell you to go do research?
yeah, I
Sales
mean,
enablement.
enablement is enablement. You go to
So
headquarters.
why do I need somebody sitting behind a desk trying to tell me which end is up and they couldn't go out and make a fucking sale if their life depended on it? They couldn't. When marketing creates new slides, I tell the teams that I work with, send them back to marketing, tell them to go out and make 5 sales and report their findings. Make the people who are doing this crap go make a sale. Don't tell me what to do. Show me what you did. And let's go to New York City and let's knock on a few doors. No, I targeted called in New York City for 3 years. And every place that I went where I had an idea or I had a pre-made sample, my closing ratio was 100%.
Yeah, but Jeffrey, it goes back to what you say this better than anyone else, right? And I'm going to quote you, most reps don't have the sales balls to pick up the phone.
Correct. It takes sales balls to make sales calls.
So how do we do that? How can
And
we use AI to give people sales balls?
the only way to do that is to be able to provide a genuine coach like me to be able to give an answer to something when you're sitting in a lobby and you call me up and go, "Hey, Jeffrey, I'm in the lobby of this company. They're an HVAC company. I need to talk to the leader about," and just go through the whole thing. What's the first question I should ask them? Click. And in 2 seconds, I'm going to give you a conversational answer. You can have me on. It's unbelievable. And they say, okay, well, great. What should I put in the body of the conversation? And here it is. And then how should I close the sale? And suppose the guy says, I want to think about it. What do I say then? Well, suppose the guy says, send me a proposal. What do I say then?
Role playing
The answers are there. I don't need to go back and ask my daddy what to do. I mean, it's
or
totally
enablement or your boss.
enablement is the biggest joke I've ever seen in sales. Since cold calling, enablement is the stupidest thing in the last 100 years. Cold calling, then enablement.
Yeah, so we're definitely, I mean, this is all very interesting. We're definitely going to come back to the AI thing over and over in this conversation. And we're going to get deeper into this idea of the AI coach or even the virtual Gitomer AI coach soon. But before we go there, let me ask you another question here. So I mean, some of these old school sales, time and true sales tactics are still going to be important in the age of AI. They're probably going to be even more important,
Give
right?
me
So
an
as far
example.
as
What do you think a tried and true sales thing is going to be? Like follow up or sending someone a proposal or
Well,
what?
how about rejection, handling rejection, or how
Okay.
about objection
I'm going
handling?
to give you a let me give you a rejection thing will come up in my coaching. Because when I first moved to Charlotte, North Carolina in 1998, no, 1988, I started a business of selling sales leads, new corporations, new homeowners, building permits. And I go around to people and I would say, I'd like to speak to the person in charge of sales leads. And no one knew the answer, so I always got a boss. And if the guy said, I'm not interested, I would say, wow, that's great. Um, it usually takes me four not interesteds until I can get one person who is interested. You're only the second person today that told me not interested. Do you know anybody else that might not be interested? And I just turned and the guy's laughing and he says, all right, come on in, let's talk about it.
Right, you flip it. You
Exactly.
do the opposite of what they're expecting
Well,
or
I'm
what a
going to
normal
teach people
salespeople do.
in my AI, I'm going to teach salespeople how to have fun and remove the pipe from your ass to be real world. And that's the key to winning.
And that's one of the things that I really liked about your book. Well, there's many things I liked about your book, but one of the things that I really liked about it, and I highlighted it and showed it to my colleagues, you have a whole section on, you have the stiff, stoic sales professional, and then you have the loose sales professional that's using humor and
Yeah.
building rapport. Which person do you think customers are want to be around or buy from?
I'm going to want to be around the person who's normal. I'm going to want to be the person that can give a give a joke and take a joke. Because if I walk into somebody and they have a Kansas City Chiefs banner on the wall, they're going to get an earful. If I walk into an office and they have a Philadelphia Eagles banner on the wall, we have something called shared value, way better than things in common. And so I'm going to be able to help the salesperson who walks into an office. I'm going to share with him or her what to do, what to actually do in order to be able to build that rapport and find that common ground and ultimately find a shared value in order to be able to move forward.
Right. And there's a difference between you don't want to come in and be cracking jokes. There's a difference
No,
between joke cracking and telling stories that are
that's correct.
humorous
That's correct.
and personable, right? And you kind of have to, and I really like this, you kind of have to earn your way. The humor is the master's move of sales.
I'm
You,
going to give you an example. I'm going to give you an example. You're in San Francisco or in the San Francisco Bay Area. I had a big customer in San Francisco in the 80s, and I'd stay at his house, and we'd drive from Marin into San Francisco. And in those days, if three people were in the car, the toll was free. Is that still the same?
no.
Um, and so he would have a mannequin in the
Actually, I
back.
don't know. I never drive. I don't drive anymore. I take BART. I never have three people in the car, so I
Um,
can't answer that.
he would put a mannequin in the back seat. So me and him and the mannequin would get across the bridge for nothing. Now, what I did is I just shared a story that will make you smile or make you laugh, relax the situation, has nothing to do with what I'm selling, has nothing to do with what I'm doing, but you know I'm human. Now we can talk. That's how listen, did I call you or did you call me?
When we first connected, I think I don't remember. I think we sent you an email and you called us, right?
You sent me an email and then
I
I reached
sent you an
back
email
out.
and you picked up the phone and called.
Right. I don't call anybody unless I'm in some way intrigued or there's some perceived value on my part.
Yeah. And I think a lot of this stuff is going to be even more important in the age of AI because what AI is not going to be able to do is be personable, tell stories,
AI is
build
not funny, it's a
rapport.
computer. Right. Although when you get my AI, you get my built-in humor.
That's true.
And we'll talk about it in a little bit, but the thing I'm so excited about my new AI, I can't
Yeah.
stand.
I am too. We're definitely going to get to that. Before we do, going back to this whole thing about loyalty and rejection, I mean, one of your most famous lines is, I was hoping you'd say that. So when you get the no or
Yeah,
you get the rejection, you turn it on its head and you say, I was hoping you'd say that.
exactly. I think that the challenge that anybody has is being prepared for what the customer says. And most of the time, the salesperson is unprepared or even nervous about the fact that they're unprepared. That's why people don't give speeches. They're nervous that someone's going to ask them a question, or is this going to make my ass look big, or is
Yeah,
the,
I
is
think
the
it's the
audience going to like me?
Q&A. It's the fear of the Q&A that I think is
Right.
bigger than the actual speech.
So I've done 2,500 talks over the course of the last 20 some years, never made a sales call to book one. And in the middle of my talk, if I give a 3 hour talk, I ask the audience for questions written. So I've done hundreds of sessions where I've answered questions on the spot. You can't ask me a question that I don't have an extemporaneous answer for. And it's fun as hell. And I'll also get questions of briefs or boxers, or how many Super Bowls have the Eagles won. And it used to be when we won our first one, somebody would say, how many Super Bowls have the Eagles won? And I go, one. And they get that I'm human.
Yeah.
They get that I'm real. And that makes them lean forward and want more information. The more real you are, the less scripted you are. People talk about sales scripts. They're the dumbest things I've ever heard of in my life. First of all, you sound scripted. Second of all, you sound new. You're totally inexperienced. Go to a customer's place, get some training, get my AI, get some learning, and roll. Get an
So how do
education.
you definitely want to be prepared and you want to
Yep.
do your homework and you want to be well researched,
Right.
but then you also don't want to over rotate and come across as scripted. So how do you balance that approach? Like how do you do the due diligence and be prepared, but at the same time you're coming in as if you're having a normal conversation and you're free flowing, you're keeping it organic.
Well, first of all, you have to ask real questions. I don't want somebody to ask me the question of what keeps me up at night. I don't want to ask somebody ask me the question of, I'm not interested in somebody finding the pain of mine.
It's your biggest
None-
pain point.
My pain is mine. My pain is none of anybody's business.
Who's the economic buyer?
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to seek out pleasure. I'm going to Google the person. I'm going to look at their LinkedIn profile. I'm going to find out as much personal information as I possibly can. I'm going to look for telltale signs that tell me, is this person an organized person? Is this person a knowledge-driven person? Is this person an emotionally driven person? I want to know the type of person that I'm dealing with so I know how to gauge my question. And I ask one question every single time. First question out of my mouth. Where did you grow up?
Hmm.
That will immediately make the person think emotionally because they're thinking about the house they grew up with their mom and dad or their siblings. Some have passed on, but this question reeks of emotion. And if it's a small town, I know they're more trusting than if they grew up in Cleveland. And so I get all kinds of information from that. And if I have something in common with them, I win.
I couldn't agree more. I mean,
Okay.
I think you're on a call with a new prospect, you've never met them before.
Yeah.
They hop on the Zoom. The first thing you can say is, "Hey, so Jeffrey, where are you right now? Are you in Jersey? Are you in New York? Are
Yeah.
you in North
I'm in Philly.
Carolina?" And then
Yeah.
that's the easiest, and then that's going to lead to conversation.
Correct.
And then you're going to be like, "You in San
Listen
Francisco?"
carefully. If I ask somebody where they grew up, not where you're from, where did you grow up? That's going to tell me everything I need to know to start a conversation, especially since I'm well traveled and I can pick up on pretty much anything.
Exactly, right. And then you're going to say, "Well, right now I'm in Philly." Then I can be like, congratulations."
Yeah.
And then we can talk about the
So
Eagles, and then we can go from there.
I have a buddy who lives in Cleveland. His name is Hal Becker. Hal Becker is a sales guy like I am. He's a cancer survivor. He was the number one salesperson at Xerox, and we're friends. And I'm at a sports memorabilia show, and he picks me up for lunch. He's wearing this beautiful leather coat, just like just dressed to the nines. And I have on a game used jersey from Lenny Dykstra that's autographed.
The New York Met and the Philadelphia Philly.
Right.
I think
And
Dykstra was about like 5'8".
Yeah, but he could play,
He could play.
chewed tobacco. And the jersey I had was full of tobacco. It was a, game user. Okay. So Hal goes, wow, that's really a cool jersey. How much did it cost? I said, like $700. He said, and you're wearing it? I said, Hal, see that leather jacket you're wearing? How much did that cost? He said, $1,200. And I said, and you're wearing it? And I simply put it in the context of
Yeah.
why are, I want a common ground line so that we can move forward.
Actually,
That's,
there's a book out there called When the Bad Guys Won. It's
yeah.
all about the 86 Mets. And there's a documentary on it as well. And so yeah, that's Dykstra's all over that one. Yeah, that's a great
One of
one to
my
check
best
out.
friends is Ed Hearn, who was the catcher.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then Gary
And
Carter was the catcher on that team too, I
yeah,
think. The
Hearn was back.
Dodger later on.
Yeah.
So along those lines, so Jeffrey, a lot of people say, "Oh, good to great. You got to go from good to great." We both know that's kind of
No,
BS.
I have a book that I'm writing on. I'll call it From Shit to Great because you're not that good.
Thanks, Jeffrey. I appreciate that.
But the bottom line is most people, it assumes you're good. You may not be good. You may be a beginner. You're not that good. So I want to start at the very beginning. How do you get good? Because if you're not good, you're never going to get great.
So
Ever.
Jeffrey, that's your next book?
Yeah.
When is it coming out?
I'm writing it now. It'll probably be out around the first of the year.
God. So how many books, what number book is this going to be? How many books is this number
That'll
19?
be number 18.
Number 18. Wow. So that was going to be my next question. You have this amazing brand, right? And to your point, if you go into ChatGPT right now and say, what is the number one selling sales book of all time? It's going to come up with your book. It's going to
Correct.
come up with the Little Red Book of Selling. You got 17 books. You got the 18th coming out. You literally, and we're going to talk about this in a second, but you literally have like 2,000 videos up on YouTube. You have
Correct.
this crazy legacy and brand that's paying dividends. How did
Correct.
you build this thing? I mean, what advice do you have for authors or for sales leaders or founders that they're not going to approach anywhere where you're at, but we're also trying to build our own legacy and our own brand. But what's your advice for building the way you've done it?
I have a quote. You don't get great at sales in a day, you get great at sales day by day. And so every day you wake up and read 5 pages, every day you wake up and make one video, every day you wake up and create one quote. I created a quote 25 years ago, 4 o'clock in the morning. People will rain on your parade because they have no parade of their own. And I've used that quote religiously. I'll post it up on X. I'll put it somewhere. It's a TikTok quote. I'll make a video about it. I have 150 of those quotes, and I can and they're all up on my Instagram channel, and they're all up on my Facebook channel, and they're all up on they're everywhere I need them to be, especially LinkedIn. But you have to do it. You have to be dedicated to it, and you have to be consistent. If you're not consistent, it's not going to win. And if you if you make one customer amazingly ecstatic, one customer, and you wait for something to happen, it's not going to happen.
Mhm.
But if you go and make one customer ecstatic every single day for 2 years, now you got 650
Yeah.
customers that are ecstatic. They're going to go berserk for you. It's not going to happen in a day.
Do a little bit every day.
Day by
It's the
day.
same
Yeah,
as same with fitness, same with everything
right.
else. You want to get in shape, do 45 minutes every single day,
Correct.
5 days a week.
And just learn running does not help you live longer. It just seems longer.
I know you're a big runner, right, Jeffrey? You just
I
finished your
used to
run
be. I
right
don't
before
run
this
anymore.
call. Yeah.
I don't run anymore. The last race I was in, so funny. I run about a 10-minute mile, and I clocked myself. I was doing a 10K in Charlotte, and I clocked my first mile at 8 minutes. I'm like, I'm dead. If you run faster than your pace, you run out of steam.
Yeah.
And I just ran out of steam. I had people coming up to me and, come on, you can do it. And old ladies, it was pissing me off. So I
Yeah.
didn't run anymore.
So, Jeffrey, we've known each other now for a couple months. You know, I'm a girl dad. I got three young girls. I
Yep.
know you're a
I'm a
girl
girl dad. Yeah, I'm a girl
dad.
dad.
You've
I'm a girl
got
granddad, and I'm a girl
you,
great granddad.
yeah, you've got five girls, you got
I
granddaughters,
got everything.
you got everything, right? So, how do you one of my biggest opportunities or issues or challenges is balancing all of this. I got the three kids, got a busy household, obviously you got a busy work life with the startup and everything else we're doing from a social media perspective, balancing the two and keeping both parties happy, all of these stakeholders that are important to me happy without burning myself out or going nuts is one of my biggest challenges. And you have that tenfold with your five girls and five granddaughters
Yep.
and the dogs that are
Okay,
girls
so
and
here's the
everyone's a
deal.
girl.
First of all, girls first. That's everything. And that includes wife, because I've burnt a few of them over the years. But if you put your family first and that's your priority, you're going to end up being a winner. You'll never have a regret. Okay, that's number one. Number two, take the people that you're meeting with and cut them in half. Stop meeting with people that are worthless, hoping that they'll be worth something, and create value driven appointments. Only talk to people that can say yes to you. If they can't say yes to you, what the fuck you talking to them for? Well, he knows somebody. No, he doesn't. He doesn't know anybody. And your job is to be able to go in with a value message that makes other people want to do business with you. If the other person does not perceive that it's valuable, it's worthless. So I don't want to hear your value proposition. I want you to walk into my office with an idea. And actually, let's talk about this for just a second. You came to me and said, "Hey, we want to be in your sales coaching program. We want you to be our sales coach." And I said, "Fine, but what's going to make this any different than any other program?" Well, why do I want to be a sales coach with you? You're startup, you're San Francisco, make matters worse. Um,
Weird San Francisco guys.
no, it's very weird, San Francisco. And so we came up with the concept of let's have conversational AI, not simply Q&A.
Mhm.
Let me talk to you. And let me talk to you in either politically correct language
Yeah.
or Jersey Jeffrey language. Let me encourage you or admonish you.
Yeah.
Okay. And for the sake of this audience, we've created that.
Yeah. So yeah, let's just go into that. Obviously, we've talked a lot about AI on this call and we've been alluding to this, but just to get right down to it, with SelfActualize, what we've done, we've partnered with the real Jeffrey Gitomer here. He's got his 18 books, he's got his 2,000 YouTube videos, he's got terabytes or petabytes of other information that's out there that he's given to us. We have used all that to create a virtual Jeffrey Gitomer. So basically, you
Right.
seeing all the
Who can simultaneously have a conversation with you and coach you. You can call
it's
me up on the phone, tell me your problems, and I'm either going to tell you, listen, you can do this, you've got all the characteristics, or I'm going to call you a lazy fucking bastard.
yeah,
And
so
it's
absolutely.
totally up to you. You can dial it
It's
in.
yeah, it's having a virtual Gitomer basically in your pocket, a
Correct.
sales coach in your pocket, not a generic coach, but you're getting Jeffrey, and you've seen his personality here. You are getting this, and like Jeffrey said, you
And
can dial it up or dial it down. You can get
but
the
the
Jersey or
key
you
to
can get
this
the
is you
San
can get
Francisco.
real world information in real world situations. In other words, if you're in the middle of the sales call, you can go, excuse me, I have to call my coach. Jeffrey, I'm sitting there with this guy. He should be saying yes to me. He thinks it's all about money. He's a cheap bastard. How do I get past this guy in order to be able to create the value message that he's looking for? And I will give you a specific answer. You tell me where you can go to get that, and I'll kiss your butt.
You're
There's
not
no
going to get
place.
it. You're not going to get it from sales enablement, that's for sure. You're not going to
No,
get it from new hire training, and you're
or
not going to get it from ChatGPT
or gong.
or
Pardon my
Gone. Exactly.
He's
And
not
to
going
the
to get
and
it.
you can take this to the next level because Jeffrey, not only can I go mute on the Zoom call and then ask the virtual Gitomer the real world situation what I should say, but you can role play it. And I do
Yeah.
this all the time. As I'm talking to the virtual Gitomer, now the virtual Gitomer will say, hey, let's role play that right now. I'm going to play the role of the customer. You play the role of you. What you got, kid? And then I do my thing. And then Gitomer says, okay, I'm breaking out a role play. That was okay, but you could take that up a notch. Here's what I would say. And then you come back with what it should be. How
Listen,
powerful is
it's
that?
unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But the only way you're going to be able to get it is try it. Um, Amlo and I have worked together to create a program called 2 + 2 = sales. I'm going to give you 2 free days of my virtual sales program. You log in, you put in your credit card. I'm telling you in advance. And at the end of 2 days, you have a choice of saying goodbye or paying $100 for 2 more months. I'm not going to go into it past that. You just freaking do that. Is it worth $100 to get sales answers? And if it isn't, hang up now and go and get a job at Starbucks asking people if they want 2 pumps or 3 pumps.
Yeah. Yeah. So this thing is out there. The
Oh,
virtual
and
Gitomer is
Walmart is
out
hiring managers.
there. Well, what's really exciting about it also is what if we could deploy this for entire sales organization? We can
Oh,
go to
yeah.
a CRO and we can say all of your people, whether it's an SDR, whether it's
Yeah,
an
I'm
AE, whether it's a frontline
I'm going to
DM,
say
it's your VP of sales.
I'm going to ask a question.
Everyone can get a Gitomer in their pocket.
Yeah, of course. Um, I'm going to ask a question of sales leaders. I'm going to be talking to a bunch of them, and I'm going to ask them the most uncomfortable question on the planet to begin the conversation. It is, Bob, how many of your guys didn't make their quota this past month? How many of your guys didn't make their quota this past quarter? Why are only 3% of your sales guys making President's Club? And you can't even give me an answer. You don't. What are you doing to make it happen next time? What are you doing to make them make their? And the answer is they need a live coach that's real world, that's cheap. It's $100 a month if you want to subscribe on a retail level. It's like maybe 60 or $75 a month if you want to go with your whole enterprise. What's
Exactly.
that worth?
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
that worth to you?
And you know what's
And
even
the
what
answer is you're not checking a box, which is what a lot of people do when they buy Salesforce. They've checked the box or they go to HubSpot, they've checked the box. The bottom line is this is real world information that helps salespeople do the only thing they give a shit about, making a sale. You
it's
can give me
real.
all the crap you want from Salesforce and sales enablement. I don't want that shit. I want to make a sale now. That's all salespeople
Yeah.
want. What do you want to do today? Make a fucking sale. That's what they're going to say.
Yeah. And you know what? Couple things that take this to the next level for the enterprise. Not only are you getting the virtual Gitomer and you're getting the real-time information, you can do real-time role playing, but we can also populate that instance with corporate information. So now all that stuff, great stuff that you're getting from sales enablement, that goes into the corporate instance. Now you're getting a Gitomer, a virtual Gitomer, and that Jersey goodness, but he's trained on all of your company's products and strategic initiatives and team OKRs.
I think if you went into ChatGPT and said, "Hey, I'm dealing with General Electric. What are the 5 major things I got to look for this week?" They'll give you the answer. Sales enablement couldn't give you that answer if they paid for it.
What the other thing that's exciting about this, I know you have a good memory, Jeffrey, but the AI version of you has a better memory. So if I'm
Oh,
interacting with
oh,
the
let me tell you
AI,
something. I I asked my friend Gerhard Schwantner, who runs Selling Power, to ask me anything. And he said, "Jeffrey, tell me about the sales interview you did with Selling Power. What are the 3 major points?" I'm like, "What the how the hell do I know?" I hit return. It comes up with the 3 major points, and he's blown away by it. And I did that interview 20 years ago. It remembers everything. And it's way smarter than I am. Way, way, way smarter than I am.
yeah.
And and it it has impeccable taste. It's going to
And
give you answers that you may not want to hear, but they're going to be real world.
A couple things that make it even more interesting, it's integrated with your calendar. So now, Jeffrey, you're coaching me based on what's on my calendar. You're reaching out to me. The virtual you is emailing me, it's texting me before important meetings. When I go and chat with you, it's going to have the context of what's on my calendar. You're also sitting in on my meetings. So I'm on a Zoom call right now. The virtual you is sitting on these Zoom calls. We're sending the transcript to the
Hmm.
virtual Gitomer. The virtual Gitomer will be able to coach me on what I said or didn't say in that important meeting.
And
And
by
then,
the way, if you sucked, I'm going to tell you sucked. I mean, no offense, but you're looking for feedback. My feedback is disgustingly
yeah.
honest and it is forthright and it's without barrier. I'll give it to you in PC, but I'll also give it to you from exit 4 of the New Jersey Turnpike.
And how important is this for leaders? Let's say I'm a sales leader at an
Listen,
enterprise company.
it's going to help sales. You know, the big thing in sales is make your number. Numbers are bullshit. They're invented by people in an accounting department who have a pencil up their ass and have no idea what let's go up 11.5% this year. No, this is going to help you exceed your number. This is going to help you become a President's Club member permanently because you're going to have the answers that you need immediately on the spot as you're sitting there. You can role play in the waiting room. You can go into the sales call with the first three questions you got to ask. You can walk out with it. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, you don't leave that meeting unless you have the next thing nailed down. You just don't. Don't thank anybody for the time. It's bullshit. I wonder when the next meeting is.
And the other thing is, if I'm a sales leader, I can get intelligence on how to help my team above and beyond what I could get from any other method. So I could
Right.
go into the virtual Gitomer and query them, hey, look, I really think my people are struggling with X, Y, and Z. That's my gut. But you're sitting on all their calls, so you know better than me. What do you think about that? Where do you
Listen,
think I can
Amel,
help my people?
this is
Game
this
changing.
is it's scary. That's all I'm saying. It's freaking
Scary.
scary.
It's
Yeah.
scary. Got it. So,
So
so
I'm
Jeffrey,
going to tell
why?
you. Someone gave me a quote a little while back because I get all these people telling me or asking me, "Am I going to be replaced by AI?" And the answer is no. You will not be replaced by AI. But here's the reality: salespeople who use AI will replace salespeople that don't use AI. That's the reality. And so you can sit home and watch Netflix like an ass and drink a beer or drink a glass of wine or drink some whiskey and wake up the next day a little hungover, or you can study AI for a half an hour at night and wake up the next day and go make money.
Now you
Because
don't
that's
even
what
need to
people
study
want
AI.
to go
You
make.
can,
They just want to go make money.
and now
I
you can
want to
just
make
interact.
fucking money.
Yeah, you can interact with the virtual Gitomer at night.
Right. And you can say, hey, Jeffrey, I'm a little sluggish this morning. Can you please kick my ass? I mean, just think about what the wide range of that is, because and I'm going to come back to chapter 1 in the Little Red Book of Selling. It's actually principle 1 in the Little Red Book of Selling is kick your own ass.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's can you give me a couple of inspirational quotes? Yes. Can you help me? Yes, of course I can. I can do anything you want
Yeah.
because I have content, and that content is terabytes long. Literally, when I first when I was first talking to Animal Team, they said, "Oh yeah, we can do this in a couple of days." 3 weeks later,
We
it's still wasn't
underestimated
done
how
yet.
much data you have out there. It took us a
Right,
couple weeks. Yeah, which is a
right.
good thing.
Totally good thing. But it's cataloged, it's there, it's ready for you to access, and it's real world answers. It's not bullshit sales answers. It's not telling you to go to Google and do this research. I'm going to give you answers that you could turn into money 1 minute after you hear it.
So Jeffrey, why so we got connected a couple months ago to give the audience some perspective. We do a monthly book club here. So in February, the book that we selected was The Little Red Book of Selling. So we all read it together at the end of the month. I ran a team meeting with the team, like a book club session. At the end of that meeting, we took a picture, all of us with the Little Red
Oh
Book.
yeah,
And then we
it was
sent the team
classic.
picture to Jeffrey and asked for a meeting, and he responded. He called us. We got the meeting, and then a couple months later, here we are live with the virtual Gitomer coach in your pocket. So, Jeffrey,
But
what
it
made how?
started with a value message from Anmol. They bought my, they invested the money. They asked me to come on and talk to them. I love doing that. I've done hundreds of those kind of meetings. And all that happens is I end up earning money as a result of it. And sometimes it's 28 books and sometimes it's 2,000 books. I don't measure that.
Yeah.
I don't measure what's the long-term value of this in terms of money in my pocket. I simply give the value and the world pays me back. And when the world pays you back, it's always times 10.
And you know what's super exciting when your 18th book comes out?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to plugging that into your AI also. See, this
Oh,
thing
yeah.
is iterative. It's going to keep getting smarter and smarter over time. What it is today is
My
great. It's
game
going to be
plan,
even better.
Oswald, my game plan is to have a morning session with salespeople from all over the world
Mhm.
and get input, tell me what their problems are, fix their problems, and then upload that every day. Pancakes with Jeffrey.
So look, Jeffrey, this has been great. I want to go into kind of a final lightning round, and then we'll close out.
Go.
So let me ask you a few rapid fire questions. So obviously we talked about the Little Red Book of Selling. You got 17 other books. You got an 18th book coming out. What's the one book every salesperson should read that's not yours, besides yours?
There's three books that I would recommend. One is the Dale Carnegie book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. One is the Napoleon Hill book, Think and Grow Rich. The Unknown book is the best sales book ever written, including mine, written 1 year after Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. It's by Napoleon Hill. It's called How to Sell Your Way Through Life. That book will provide insight that will freak you
Mm.
out.
We got to get that one into the virtual Gitomer.
Please.
A couple action items here for me after this call. What's the most overrated BS advice you've heard in sales?
Uh, you can make a lot of money cold calling. We differ in our definition of the words a lot. Find the pain, challenge the executive. I don't want to find the pain. I want to find the pleasure. I want to make a friend. If you make a friend, you can earn a fortune. If you make a sale, you earn a commission. You make a friend, you can earn a fortune. That's a quote of mine. And
Hmm.
that's what I live by.
Jeffrey, what
All
about
my customers are
habits?
my friends.
What about habits? You have some great daily habits. You read every day,
You.
you write
Yeah.
every day. What's an underrated habit that maybe no one knows about in your own routine that's led to your success?
I read about creativity.
Thinker toys.
Thinker toys or and right in my library right here, if you want the best book I've read on creativity, it's called Serious Creativity by Edward de Bono. And it combines all his strategies into one book. Guy was amazing.
Lovely. Lovely. Well, Jeffrey, this has been amazing. It's always great chatting with you. Thanks so much
Yep.
for being on the podcast. I'm super excited about what we've created with the Gitomer AI. It's out there. It's the goodness of Jeffrey Gitomer in your pocket 24/7 on demand and knows you, knows your company, knows what's on your calendar, knows what's going on in your meetings in your life. It is unreal. So it's out there. I'll put the links in the show notes if you can sign up for it yourself, or if you're a sales leader or an enablement leader at a company, let's talk. Let's get it to your entire enterprise. Reach out to us. Jeffrey, the king of sales. Always good to see you. Thanks so much for being on here.
I'm going to throw one more thing at you before I go. If your boss will not buy my AI for you, it'll be 99 bucks a month. Buy it yourself. That's number one. Number two, when I got to the airport in Omaha, I see a picture of the graduating class from University of Nebraska from 1955. One of the graduates was Warren Buffett. And his advice was, he said, the best investment advice I can give is invest in yourself.
Mhm.
And those are stunning words. They're not words, they are stunning words. And how'd he do?
Yeah. I mean, when you talk about taking those steps every single day for a long period of time to build that legacy, no one does it better than the
Exactly.
two of you. All right.
All right.
Well, thanks, Jeffrey. Thanks,
It's a
everyone,
pleasure,
for
Amo.
tuning in. Always great to see you. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see everyone next time on the Self-Actualize podcast. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Ready to get the virtual Jeffrey Gitomer in your pocket? Just scan the QR code below to try it out now. Get the first 2 days free and the first 2 months for the price of one. And if you're a sales leader looking to level up your whole team, come chat with us at selfactualize.ai to learn more.